About a year ago, I found myself alone in Hanoi, Vietnam. My first ever solo trip. I was 19, nervous, curious, and kind of proud of myself. One evening, I went to this cute little cafe tucked into the corner. I met a traveler who was sharing a story about his life. Turns out somebody made a video of him trying and seeking for help and sent it to his family members. That moment struck. Because what you do when everything you see cannot be believed. In fact, what you do when most things you see cannot be believed. We are entering what I call synthetic reality. At first, deepfakes were fine. Nicolas Cage in every movie, celebrities dancing badly. But then it got dark. Fake videos began influencing elections. Scammers started using these for their benefit, and celebrities were inserted into content they never consented to. Even courtrooms are now questioning whether videos can still be used as solid proof. Yes, you heard that right. So, at this stage, it's incredibly hard to verify what's real and what's fake. And more importantly, a report showed that 96% of deepfakes are non consensual. And out of that, most of the targets are women. So we're moving from seeing is believing to something much, much murkier and scarier. And it doesn't stop at politics or scams. Recently, a school in India discovered a viral video across their classmates and students. Featured a classmate in a very compromising situation, something that no one would want to go through. It was a fake AI generated video that looked as real as it could be. The damage was already done. So the stakes clearly are not just theoretical, they are very real and affecting us as we speak. For the past year, I've been working on deepfake detection tools. What started as a personal project grew into a research project, which is now Adzury AI, where we are building trust layer of the internet. We're building tools to verify and explain what is fake in videos, images, and audios. But honestly, the tech isn't even the hardest part. The real challenge is that people still believe what they want to believe. We showed test videos to users. We gave the video across a bunch of users with subtle eye blinking issues, subtle lip syncing issues, things that are obviously forged. What happened was that over 60% of people identified the fake video as more realistic. I'm not kidding you. I did this survey just last week. So AI doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be convincing enough to confirm our biases. It is starting something bigger. Truth isn't about shifting about how we think, but rather about shifting how we question. But on creating tools that are able to question are going to facilitate that for us. Recently, a startup founder in Delhi got a video call from her co-founder. It looked very real. She was anxious, desperate for money, and asking her to approve the bank's OTP or give her the bank's OTP so he could log into the dashboard and send the money or get the money that he required. 5 minutes later, she saw him in the co-working space. I'm not kidding you, this is a very real scenario that has happened to somebody I know. So it turns out somebody had scraped his old reels on social media platforms, changed his voice, and taken his voice from an investor pitch and cloned it. So it almost led to a breach of the company's bank accounts, which probably had lakhs of rupees or crores of rupees in a simple minute with a simple video that was generated. She even told me even after I knew it was him, I felt like I was seeing him on the call. And that's the level it's gotten to. So this is clearly not just a tech problem, it's a trust problem. For generations, we trusted visuals. We trusted what we could see. And photos were proof. Signatures meant something. But today, that very trust layer has been broken. All of that can be generated, remixed, and fake in a click of a button with a simple prompt. So, what do we do? We must shift from intuition to interrogation, from passively believing to actively verifying and questioning. The scary part, the tools that were once symbols of truth are now potential weapons. So what do? Do we stop trusting anything at all? Of course not. The solution isn't to become cynical. AI is here to do great things, and I, for one, believe in that. But it is our responsibility to become digitally literate. Now, what I mean by that is the next time you get a video, verify it. Go through it properly and see whether it has been verified by the right tools. Look for visual cues that tell you that this is a fake. Now, we already scan our inboxes. We check our mail for phishing. We need to do the same for media. So just pause and ask the question, am I sure this is real? So this isn't paranoia, it's just media hygiene, and it starts with the smallest of habits. Use tools like I mentioned before. Reverse image search to identify the original source of the image. Wait 10 minutes before emotionally reacting to viral content. And of course, look for the smallest of inconsistencies. Sometimes somebody might look like they're saying something, but their mouth doesn't say it. Yes, I'm hopeful that as digital citizens, we become more responsible and aware of what we are seeing. Just like seatbelts became normal and a sign of caution for our safety, maybe one day, verified content will become that new norm. With the right tools and people like me who are working on them, you can be rest assured as long as you and me as digital citizens do our due diligence in making sure what we are seeing is real. As students, creators, entrepreneurs, celebrities, we are a generation that will live in this synthetic world. So we have to be the ones responsible for shaping how people navigate. Now imagine being denied a job because someone created a fake video of you and shared it across. Or even worse, a politician losing public trust over an extremely AI-generated scandal. Even worse, a journalist publishing manipulated footage because they didn't know any better to decipher between real and fake. This is happening and the consequences go beyond embarrassment. They affect careers, lives, and individuals. And while governments catch up and platforms scramble to support, it falls to us, the users, the students, the creators, and technologists to create the right solutions. And why now? Because the shift is exponential. Just 5 years ago, it took 5 days of GPU power to create a deepfake. And today, I can do it on my phone in 5 seconds. That is why it's painstakingly important for us to focus on tools to verify such stuff. And if we don't prepare now, we will spend the next decade preparing. I don't want us to adapt to fake content. I want us outrun it. MIT Media Lab once wrote, the question is no longer whether we can believe our eyes. The question is whether we should have ever believed it in the first place. That hits hard, but it's also a reminder. Truth never lives only in the visuals. It lives in context, cross-verification, community awareness, and the right tools. Synthetic reality is already here. But trust, that is something we should shape. So here's what I ask all of you. The next time you see something shocking, emotional, too perfect to be true, stop and ask yourself, who made this? Why is it being shared now? And have I verified it with the right tools? Because in a world where anything can be fake, what you choose to believe becomes the truth. It's not about losing faith, it's about earning clarity. And in the end, clarity is what lets truth breathe. So go ahead, ask questions, Stay curious, think slow, and most importantly, be yours. Thank you very much. That's me, Tarini.